Welcome to a special edition, this week's episode of the Politically Correcting Podcast. With me, the Jose Pio. I will be Dolo tonight with, actually, not two Dolo. I'm going to have Austin on the ones and twos, of course.
Hello.
Avel's got some personal family issues going on. We will keep him and his family in prayers. But let's toast to our ability to share a drink with friends, have open and honest dialogue, and always strive away to walk away still being friends. Salud.
Oh, what?
There's my camera. There's my camera.
That one up.
We're having a special podcast tonight. Oh, that's your first time having a beverage in a couple weeks.
Yeah, no
excuses.
Exactly.
Special podcast tonight because we're going to go live with the Tucker Carlson interview. Have we done a refresh? Have we seen that? Has he posted it yet? We're going to do live commentary on what is going on tonight.
He posted it 38 seconds ago.
Look at how many views he's gotten already. Good Lord. So we will be watching this together because I'm sure you're intrigued. Before I start that, I just want to say, me personally, this is where the classic liberal in me comes out. Whether or not it's true, I for the most part, I don't know why it matters. I also don't really honestly care. If he's gay, he's gay. If he's banging dudes, he's banging dudes. Like, what happens in the sanctity of your own room or in someone else's room or in private, let's just say. I don't personally care. Smoking crack, that's probably that's an issue. But also, again, if he's doing it inside, he's not doing it out in public. He was in college or wherever he was. Again, I really don't personally care. I don't think it impacted what he was doing in the White House. Was his past used against him? I don't know. Was he forced to do things that he normally would not have sided with or agreed with? I don't know. Let's listen to the podcast with this Larry guy who states that, that's all I know so far. I believe there's going to be some other things that are supposed to be a bombshell in this. So let's watch it together. We'll do commentary together and see what's going on.
All right. And also, let me know in the comments if you can hear it all right. This is something we haven't done in a while. So, just make sure. If you can't hear it, let me know, and I will try to figure that out.
I'm going to have to look on my podcast thing so I can see any comments.
All right.
Go ahead.
Ready?
Yes, sir.
Okay, hold on. Getting a comment, no sound.
Uh-oh.
Seeing what I can do.
This is what happens when we try something different here. It's all right. We'll get it fixed. We'll get it figured out.
Yeah, hold on.
While he's doing that, though, if you missed our first inaugural radio show this afternoon at 1:00, I got some good reviews off of that. We had a couple of callers, too. It was pretty amazing. It was a good time.
All right. How about now?
Basically, the only thing that's been said, he's a nobody when he first came out. Let us know if you can hear it or can't hear it.
Still no sound. All right.
Still no sound.
Hold on. Why is there no sound?
Can we download it and then post it like we do other videos?
Maybe. Hold on.
It might take a while. While you're doing that,
it might take just a minute.
Go ahead. I will keep talking about what happened today. We're going to get back to this interview because I am interested to see what the heck this guy was even talking about. And honestly, see if I care that much. Because at this point, I think a lot of us know that there's some crazy stuff happening behind the scenes, particularly in one party's, backgrounds. Some people turn up dead a lot of times, I guess, and it's for the most part only on one side. Let's be very clear about that. I can say that because I'm a Democrat. But there's some things that are happening that are against our former president Trump, which I am really kind of against all, everything that they're trying to target him for. I do believe that it is a targeted approach to trying to make sure that he cannot even run for president. We'll bring it up after we watch the podcast. Or I'm sorry, after we watch Tucker's podcast. I'll bring up some things that the Democrats are trying to do that I'm seeing that is kind of something that we should certainly be watching out for. Man, this guy, I'm looking at his numbers. Can you? I can't even imagine having that many numbers on our podcast within 2 minutes. That's 136,000 people watching already. Good for him. Let me know when we are.
Yeah, it is downloading.
All right, cool. But today, our first inaugural radio show, me and Lavelle were out there. It sucked because we first had to go down 390, where I guess someone jumped off a bridge onto 390, and it ruined all kinds of traffic. I'm telling you, it turned a 35-minute drive out to Livonia into like an hour drive. We got there literally 1 minute before we're supposed to jump on. We jump in the seats, we put our headphones on. He's trying to go over the gear and stuff like that. And I'm looking at him like, we kind of know what we're doing here. But the radio is a little bit different from podcasting. It's certainly something different when you have to stop at certain intervals, taking callers. It was pretty cool. So if you missed it, we're going to be every Monday and Wednesday now. The people that we were taking over for, they decided to stay on the radio. And the gentleman that owns the radio station, he was very adamant about wanting the Politically Correcting podcast on his radio, on the radio wave. So he is still behind us every Monday and Wednesday from 1 till 2. We will be going live on 92.1 is the FM radio station, 1040 or 1040 AM station. I hear it kind of depends on where you are because it goes from Buffalo to Syracuse. That's how big the radio station is. It's very powerful antenna. They just increased their reach. It's an insane amount of people that they're able to hit. So that 1 o'clock to 2 o'clock will be on there live. We made sure there was no cursing. Actually, there was. I said the ASS word, but I did block out the B word and the F word, but that was because it was written out, blocked out. And I was quoting somebody. It wasn't me that was saying it. I was quoting somebody. It was a guy who freaking choked out a little 11-month-old stepdaughter. You can go to WYSL1040.com and actually listen to the show if you missed it. I'm also going to be posting. What I'll be doing is the articles that we go over in a radio show will be different from what we talk about in a podcast. That way, people still want to listen into what we're doing on Wednesday evenings. But I started the locals.com page, the Politically Correcting Podcast /locals.com. Make sure you go on there and subscribe because what I'm going to do is I'm going to post the articles that we discuss on the radio station as well as on the podcast. I'm going to post it on there so that you can read it for yourself if you want to. Are we good now?
We should be good.
Awesome.
All right.
Striker says he's giving us a plug-in for the podcast. Thank you. Appreciate that.
All right. Ready?
Let's do this.
In retrospect, it's pretty amazing that Barack Obama got as far as he did. In 2004, the summer of 2004, Barack Obama gave the keynote address at the Democratic Convention in Boston. And when he walked to the podium, probably only a small percentage of people in the room knew how to pronounce his name. He was totally unheard of. No one knew Barack Obama. At the time, he was a state senator in Illinois. 4 years later, he once again spoke to the Democratic Convention, but this time as the nominee. Meteoric doesn't begin to describe.
Yeah, that's crazy. We're not going to pause it. Go ahead, keep going.
Are
that's like
well-known, though rarely talked about.
Jeremy Cooney running for president.
Democratic donors, mostly in Chicago, decided that
last year
Obama was their guy. He was the vessel
that's just
for their
an insane jump.
They paid for his campaign. They paved the way for his rise. He spent 2 years pointlessly in the United States Senate preparing to run for president in 2008. And of course, in the end, he won. But the question was, who was this man? Where did he come from? What did he spend his life doing before he became president of the United States? Well, the news media, whose job it is to answer those questions, spent the entire 2008 campaign trying to keep you from knowing the answers. By election day, most Americans knew only one thing about Barack Obama, other than he was handsome and a good communicator: hope and change. But they knew nothing about him, his origins, what he believed, and legitimate questions about those facts were turned away, as they often are, with the claim, "That's a conspiracy theory. You're crazy. Shut up."
I love his high-pitched voice.
One of the most
when he gets into
interesting moments in the 2008 campaign occurred when a man like Obama himself came from out of nowhere to recount his experiences with Barack Obama, the man. His name was Larry Sinclair, and he told an amazing story. He said that in 1999, he had encountered Barack Obama in Illinois, had sex with Barack Obama, and then used cocaine with him. Sinclair went on to make these claims publicly at the National Press Club in Washington.
9 years before he became president.
And to take a lie
Just want to
detector
say.
test. But he was dismissed. In fact, he was attacked. Obama shills like Ben Smith of Politico batted the claims out without refuting them. They're absurd. And the rest of the media followed suit. But the claims weren't absurd. We're not claiming they're true, but they were certainly credible. This was a firsthand account of Barack Obama's behavior by someone who was willing to sign a sworn affidavit to that effect. So the question is, whatever happened to Larry Sinclair? What's his life been like since? That's an interesting story. It turns out Larry Sinclair is still alive. He lives in Mexico. But today, he's in our studio.
That is amazing that he's still alive.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for inviting me.
Well, where did you meet Barack Obama?
Did not expect that voice.
It was by accident. I was in the Chicago area in '99 for Lee Duke's graduation from the Naval Academy.
Who's Lee Duke?
He's basically my godson.
Okay.
I had hired a limousine service.
I'm sorry to interrupt. Did you live in Chicago then?
No, I was actually living in Colorado. I had flown in the night before.
Okay.
So had hired a limousine service, had made it the driver aware that if Lee couldn't leave the base, because once they graduate, some of them actually get their assignments and they're shipping out and they can't leave the base, that I was still interested in going out.
It's true.
And had asked the driver if he knew anybody that was available that might want to show me, Chicago.
Yeah.
And he said he did. So
well, who was the driver?
His name was Jameer Multani. It was with 5-star limo.
So you're just a guy who's in town for the night, and it sounds like you're looking to party, actually.
Yeah.
That's
say that, dude.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, I was in town for a few nights, but yeah, I was definitely looking to party. And
did you make that clear to the driver?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. There was no misunderstanding.
How direct were you about that?
Extremely.
Extremely. Okay.
You can be direct with a limo driver.
There was no doubt.
That's a guy who knows where to go for anything.
And he picked me up at
I
my
wouldn't know.
hotel in Gurney and drove into Chicago, pulled up in a bar outside, and there's this guy that's introduced to me as Barack Obama. It was literally that casual.
Had you ever heard of him?
No.
Did the driver know him?
Yep. The driver definitely knew him because the driver said that he was a friend.
Interesting.
He was a what?
Friend. How would the driver be friends with Barack Obama?
I only found out later, dealing with a reporter from Bloomberg News, that apparently
Bloomberg is the worst.
Limousine company
Just
had
awful.
been doing business with Tony Resco.
Oh.
That at the time was somehow affiliated
was
with
in
Barack
Obama's
Obama.
orbit.
Yeah.
Yes. Interesting. So he knew Barack Obama, and in his view, Barack Obama liked the same kind of partying you were looking for.
Yeah.
Okay. So sex and drugs, in other words.
The sex part I wasn't so sure about until, of course, you make your move, but it became obvious very quick. The coke part I thought was interesting because of the way that I had brought it up.
So I'm stepping on your story. So you pull up, and I apologize. So you pull up to this bar
in a limo.
The driver is basically scouting some dude for you to hang out with.
Correct.
Which is weird.
There's this guy, Barack Obama. Have you ever heard of Barack Obama?
Never. Okay. Never. We're having drinks. I mentioned the fact that I could use something to wake up. I was extremely exhausted.
So you went into the bar?
Yes, sir.
What kind of bar was it?
I'm trying to remember. I've been trying to remember the name. I know that the glasses had 3 X's on them.
Oh, okay.
Because I remember taking one home for a friend of mine.
What? But I mean, generally characterize it? Was it,
It was
working class bar,
no, it
gay
was
bar, strip
upscale.
bar?
It was upscale, quiet. Wasn't really that that really didn't have a lot of energy to it. It was more relaxed, more like a lounge as opposed to somewhere where people would go and get loud and crazy.
Yeah.
Which made it easier to talk. But like I said, when I brought up the fact that I could use something to wake up, he immediately knew what I was referring to. Had made it clear
Bull and
that
vodka.
I was looking for
Exactly.
Coke, and
Coca-Cola
really
has
was,
caffeine in it.
and had made the suggestion that he knew
Quite the
where we
twist.
could get it,
Yeah.
and we left to go get it.
Interesting. Did he say what he did for a living?
Nope.
What did
I
he
had
do? I
no
want to know what
idea
he
that
did.
he was a representative in the Illinois
But did this
House.
guy say he was
Had
in
no
the
idea he
military?
was in politics.
Or his son was in the
I
military?
just knew
Godson.
that he
Oh,
was
gotcha.
supposedly married, and at the time was going through some issues with the marriage.
He said that?
That was made clear. Yeah.
Did he say what kind of issues?
No.
Do you remember? No. So you said, I'm looking for someone to wake up. He knows you're referring to cocaine.
Were they married in
I wanna get
'99?
it. What
I wanna
happened?
see that.
Yeah,
We
hold on,
get
I'll look it
back
up.
in the limo. The driver takes us wherever it is that Barack had instructed him to take
And was
us.
he senator in
I
'99?
had given Barack $250 to pay for Coke. He gets out, comes back.
Is that appropriate dollar amount? I have no
putting
idea.
a line on a CD tray to snort.
And you're in the limo.
Yep.
Driving or parked?
No, the driver's driving.
Yeah.
I start to put a line on a CD tray, and I just happen to notice that he pulls something else out of his pocket. And next thing I know,
He
got
was
a
a
little
senator.
pipe and he's smoking. So I don't have an issue with it. I mean, some people smoke, some people snort.
Smoking the cocaine.
Yes. So as I'm doing a line, I just start. This is the part where you kind of make your move to see where things are going. So I just started rubbing my hand along his thigh to see where it was
People
going.
smoke
it went
cocaine?
the direction I had intended it to go.
If they're smoking it, it's crack.
So the night became somewhat active sexually and drug-wise in the limo.
So you hit on him. Did he seem shocked by that?
Not at all.
Oh, they've been married since 1992.
I mean, if you're
Oh, okay.
smoking crack with a stranger in the back of a limo.
So
like,
story
you gotta
checks out so
imagine
far.
things are gonna
Right.
Go crazy places.
Well, not only imagine it, I look at it this way. I've done a lot of crazy things in my lifetime. I'm a pretty good judge of character, and I pretty much know
Okay.
whether or not I can move in a certain direction with an individual.
Oh, that kind of
I
character.
didn't
Gotcha.
feel that I was going in the wrong direction. I just wasn't so sure how much I could trust the individual
Right.
at first. And that was probably one of my bigger concerns. But the fact that I was already becoming somewhat buzzed, you kind of throw caution to the wind.
You weren't sure you could trust the individual. What does that mean?
When you meet someone out of the blue and you go to a level that you're doing drugs with, or you're giving money to purchase drugs, or even for sexual activity, you have to be sure that you can trust them. And when I say trust, I mean that you're not going to end up being robbed, or that you're not going to end
Can someone
up
tell me if
having a
$250
knife
is
stuck
appropriate
into you,
amount for cocaine?
from
I
one
literally have
direction
no
or
idea.
another. Or that you're not going to pull up
especially
somewhere
in
and all of a sudden the car door is
1999.
going to
Right.
open and you got five.
I feel like that was a lot of money.
Yeah.
So
That's
what's
what I mean.
what's
when
the
I say
inflation?
trust someone.
Okay.
And you've been around at this point
Oh,
in
yeah.
your life, big time.
Yeah.
Right. So probably not your first time in a situation like this.
Not at all. And that's why I said I pretty much know where I can go and
Yeah.
at what point.
So you start rubbing his leg, and I think I'll just be totally blunt with you, like a man who's not into gay sex would be like, whoa, settle down.
Trust me, if it was something that you were not interested in, and you're right, I've had guys that I read wrong that would literally try to break your hand.
For sure.
No, it was
you went in that
1999,
route.
Linda. I'm
So
pretty sure I heard
it's not
1999,
like
right?
this was something that he wasn't into. It's
Yeah.
not something that he was shocked by.
Yeah.
Shocked by, you don't get excited and you don't unbutton your pants and you don't just sit there and let it happen.
Yeah.
So it definitely wasn't Barack's first time. That much I'm absolutely certain of. And I would almost be willing to bet you it wasn't his last.
So, so you performed
can't say
oral sex
that.
on
I
Barack
did.
Obama.
You don't know that.
In the driver's up front.
Yep.
And he's cool with this.
The driver has the partition up. He didn't have a problem with it. He didn't put it down for any reason.
I mean, he kind of set up the whole thing for this in the first place.
Exactly. And I have a funny feeling he had no bones to pick with.
And that
it as
driver's
far
now
as what
dead.
took place.
Guaranteed.
Yeah.
The
so what happened
imaginary
after?
driver from the story.
Afterwards, I
That he
actually
named.
went back to my
Yeah.
hotel. I had specifically asked that he drop Barack off first, but for some reason, he and Barack chose that they would drop me off at the hotel first, and then he would take Barack. So Barack actually made the drive out to Gurnee, which is a suburb
Thank you, Striker.
outside of Chicago, to the hotel for me to be dropped off.
What hotel was that?
It was the Comfort Inn in Gurnee.
Ooh, that sounds depressing.
Well,
You're staying at Comfort Inn, but you got a limo
No,
and $250
and
for
it was
Coke.
close to the Great Lakes Naval
Yeah.
Facility.
yeah.
All right, red flag
But
That the first one.
I got dropped off. They left.
so far.
The next day
For
was
me.
somewhat interesting because he ends up showing up at my hotel room,
Oh,
which I thought was
sketchy.
somewhat weird, but
He wanted some more.
mhm.
So when you say he showed up, he just
He showed up. I mean, I had no warning. I was in the room. There's a knock on the door. I opened the door and he's standing there. And he's standing there with more Coke, and he comes in, and it was just like a quick, rehash or rerun from the night before.
exact same program.
Exact same program.
Was he smoking again? So Barack Obama
In a hotel
smokes
room.
crack, and then you perform
Yep.
oral sex on him.
And like I said, the only reason I had come out about it
I think they
is
allowed it
I
back
had
then.
reached out
What?
to the campaign.
I think they
even
allowed
in
smoking back then.
2007,
Okay.
only because I saw all these kids getting excited about it.
Okay, wait. So how did that end? Like,
Same way. You get off, you finish smoking, you leave.
Do you think
thanks.
blowing
bye.
Obama is what
Mhm.
knocked out his teeth?
What did you think of him?
I thought
Pause.
it was interesting. I thought it was definitely
I love that you think that he was the one that blew Obama.
He just said that.
Oh, he did.
He did. Yeah.
Oh,
he
I
said he
assumed-
performed oral sex on
Oh,
Obama.
that's a power move right there for Obama.
Sure.
It's not gay if you're the one that's coming.
Oh, okay.
That's
Is
the rule.
Is that the rule?
That's the rule.
As the rule. Okay.
Yeah,
Good to
there's
know.
certain rules to this. I
Yeah.
know. Obviously, I spent $250 on drugs.
Yeah.
No idea, dude. I have no idea. But yeah, that's a good catch.
I think the first red flag is actually
was it?
just how ugly this dude is. Like Barack
Well, it was
Obama
also
is like
30 years ago.
yeah. But
Well,
like
not
this
30,
kid, I
24.
don't believe this guy was ever a handsome man.
You don't believe he was ever a handsome man? You
No.
don't think meth might have done that?
Oh, so this like cokehead, meth head dude.
Well, a gateway
Yeah.
drug, right? There's,
Sure.
he had to go harder after he
Right.
blew Obama and then, tried telling people about it, which I again, why are you telling people why?
And he's the only person, the only dude who's come forward. My goodness.
Well, there might be more to
You
the story.
know,
I guess
when
we'll
he-
have to.
When he came for this guy apparently told the story in 2008.
Okay.
And in the past 15 years, no one else has,
Right.
come forward. What are the odds?
Tucker might know something different. Let's see.
Yeah, let's find out.
con. But
What do you mean by that?
well, in my life at that point, you made it clear I had already been around.
Yeah, big time.
Yeah. So when
Big time.
people are doing things because they actually really enjoy it, or they're sincere, or they're looking, for
Yeah.
a connection, or they're doing something because they're looking for an in, or they're looking for a hook, or it's a game.
Yeah.
So for me, I felt that it was a game for him. It was like, okay, what am I going to get out of it? Or is there something I can get out of it other than just, the sexual part?
Right.
And lucky for me, I wasn't going back to Chicago anytime soon. So it really didn't matter.
So you were left with a bad taste in your mouth.
Something. Yeah.
Did you talk to him again?
I did not.
That was fantastic,
fact,
Tucker. That was
And
fantastic.
did you have any idea, even though you had sex
It's
with him
great.
twice,
He didn't
you
even
did
blink.
cocaine with him, watching
Oh,
him
yeah,
smoke
it's
crack
total
twice,
straight
you had
face.
no idea who he was.
I had
Now he's
no
laughing.
idea who he was
Supposed to
until
be the other
I'm
guy who did
sitting
not have
in
straight
my
face.
house in Tequila, Nayarit, Mexico in 2004. And he walked on that stage
In Boston.
in the DNC convention. And I literally hit the floor. I just hit the floor and was.
Wait, so you're watching the Democratic convention from Mexico,
I was
and the guy
laughing.
that smoked crack in your Comfort Inn with you,
I was laughing so hard.
and you were sure it was him.
I was absolutely positive.
How?
I don't forget people I've met. I don't forget people I have spent time with. I just don't.
Spent time with.
Just to restate, because I think you affirmed this, but he used his real name when you were with him.
Yes,
Did he call himself Barack or Barry?
Barack.
Barack.
And so did the driver. And that's why at first, when everybody was referring to him as Barry, I just didn't understand or catch on. Because like I said, I didn't know that much about him, other than the fact that, hey, you know, you hook up, you know, today it's Grinder. Back then it was, you know.
The limo driver.
Yeah. A limo driver or a bartender, you know. You ask and somebody knows somebody or somebody doesn't.
Amazing. Amazing. So you're sitting there in Mexico watching this, and you think, that's the guy I had sex with who smoked crack it with me.
Yep.
And what do you think?
Like I said, I just started cracking up. I freaked out. I had even pointed out to some friends of mine that were at the house that night, and I told them, I said, you're not going to believe this.
Oh, he's a snitch.
I said,
Yeah.
He's a snitch.
I blew this guy twice.
See,
You know, and they
Right.
just start cracking up. But that's the thing about me. I've never been in the closet. I've never hid. I mean, I'm always very direct and
Yeah.
blunt. And, you know, and I'm just like, this is unreal, you know, and I had no idea that he was going to run, you know, in 2008, but I was back from Mexico, but it was a strange feeling sitting there watching him walk across that stage and realizing who he was.
There better be more to the story, because
So
this is
what
not
did you do?
enough
Yeah,
You said
for
you
me.
reached out to the
literal
campaign.
evidence.
Well, I
or
didn't do
anything?
anything in 2004, but when he
Like,
announced his
Did he
run
go to the White House
2008,
after?
I did reach
Was
out
he
to the
called back in?
campaign late 2007.
I bet it's only
because
those
I
two
had
times
seen
that he's
a
talking
lot
about.
of these college
Not
kids
good enough for me.
talking about how
No, me
thrilled
neither.
they were, how there was a candidate who was completely honest about his entire life, his drug use, you know, what he did as when he was in school, you know, the constant back and forth. 1 minute is, yes, I did cocaine when I was younger, or no, I never did cocaine, but I smoked weed. So I just simply pointed out that all I was asking was, look, why don't you just simply come out and say, I did coke and I've done it as recently as 1999. You know, just tell the truth. Put it out there and be honest and let it stay as the truth rather than this back and forth.
We should
Never
definitely
did
listen to
hear
this guy.
anything
He's
back
Yeah, he seems trustworthy.
Yeah.
from
he's-
them immediately.
Who did you reach out to? Do you remember?
I reached out to actually David Axelrod's office in Chicago. I'm trying to remember the letters because it was actually 3 letters.
And did you say I had sex with Barack Obama?
This is the interesting part. My first contact with the campaign never mentioned the sex whatsoever.
Why did he reach out to
That
the,
was
to the
actually
campaign?
brought to my
Because
attention
he didn't like that
by someone
Barack
who
Obama
eventually
didn't
reached
sell
out to
everybody
me
that
in
he was
late
doing
2007,
crack cocaine.
claiming to be with the
in
campaign, but
1999.
wasn't with the campaign.
What do you mean that was pointed out to you? So you never told
I
anyone in the
never,
Obama campaign you did sex with Barack
not
Obama?
in 2007, no.
Interesting. But they knew?
Yep.
How? Who? Well, that's
I'm-
weird.
I'm assuming Barack himself, because the phone calls that I got in late 2007 came from a gentleman that I have repeatedly identified as Donald Young. And it was Donald Young who had mentioned to me that the campaign was not going to acknowledge the sex and the drug.
No, freaking course not. Guy's
Yeah.
running for
And I
president.
was somewhat
For
taken
sure.
back because, like I said, I had never mentioned.
Why would they acknowledge this imaginary sex?
That point. I had in 2008, but I had not in 2000.
Okay, that is amazing, and I want to get to who Donald Young was in just a minute. But
I was hoping
I apologize
talk about that part
for being a bad interviewer. But let me just ask the obvious question: what was Obama like on crack?
Actually, and I hate to say this because some people are going to think I'm really crazy. I knew a lot of people that smoked it because I was in Miami in the early 80s when it became.
I guess legitimate
popular.
question.
Yeah.
Similar to a friend of mine that I knew in Miami, gets extremely high, calm, almost euphoric. And then as it starts to come down,
I do like Tucker Carlson's like very concerned face that he makes.
Anything that looks white that's sitting on the seat
so he gets high.
The floor.
Yeah. Just say that, dude. It looks like he gets high.
Piece that fell off that you can pick up and smoke.
Mm-hmm.
But
yes, very serious.
While he was high, pretty much the same.
Pretty controlled,
euphoric, talkative, but not really saying anything.
So it was like his presidency.
Yeah.
Was it your impression? And of course, you would, strictly speaking, no. But was it your impression
Tucker's had
that this was the first time he'd ever smoked crack?
A couple of zingers in there. I like it.
No.
Yeah.
You don't. First of all, you don't buy crack, get in a limo, and have a pipe in your pocket if it's the first time you smoke crack.
Yeah. Okay, that's true.
Sure.
You just don't.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
So I've read about your story to the extent it's been written about, not very much. But I'd never read that Donald Young, this man, Donald Young, called you and told you that he knew you'd had sex with Barack Obama.
That was the contact in late 2007 that I had that originally came under the guise that they were part of the Obama campaign.
So who was Donald Young?
Donald Young was a choir director and a school teacher. He was the choir director at Jeremiah Wright's church in Chicago, the same church that Barack Obama went to. He was also a very openly gay black man, but very well respected.
Did you know him?
I had never met him. I had not even realized that the person who was communicating with me had been killed until a good 2 months after.
So I'm going to get to that. So Donald Young is the choir director
so
at
he's
Jeremiah
saying
Wright's
that
church.
Yes.
And
this Donald Young was killed in 2007?
He knew Barack Obama?
Oh, yes.
2 months after.
Right.
Yes.
2 months after
Donald
he
Young's
contacted.
own
2007
mother
or
has
2008.
repeatedly said that she feels that her son died to protect Barack Obama.
It's just interesting that Donald Young would have called you. He's not working directly for the campaign that we know of.
Exactly.
Well, that's why you would pick somebody that's
a
not.
copy of your letter. It sounds like maybe Donald Young was on cleanup duty.
Somehow he has my phone number. Exactly. And that's exactly what it was. Because like I said, the first calls were, I was led to believe that he was with the campaign. The last conversation that I had had with Donald Young, he had actually come clean and said that he had been asked to call me and that his job was to get as much information from me as far as who I had spoken to, who I had given any information to, and to get that to them. He had told me to be careful, to watch myself, and to understand that the Barack Obama campaign was not in any way, shape, or form going to acknowledge anything or come out about anything. And he had made it clear that he had known Barack for quite some time and had had an intimate relationship with Barack for quite some time.
He told you that?
Yep. And that's when I knew that I could at least trust what I was being told. Originally, I had made it clear I didn't feel comfortable with the phone call because something just didn't seem right. But after a couple of calls, it started to all fall into place. And I had said the same thing to myself.
Wait, so you didn't know Donald Young existed?
Nope.
It sounds like you're not very political anyway. You weren't.
I wasn't at the time.
And you were just annoyed that Obama was talking about cocaine and lying about it.
I was extremely annoyed.
But the sex part had nothing to do with it.
No.
Then Donald Young, who you don't know, never heard of, calls up and says, by the way, I know you had sex with Barack Obama. I did too.
Yep. Pretty much.
I don't see that happening.
I mean, this is a longer conversation which we can have in a minute, but I mean, Obama has a wife and kids, and
I don't see a guy coming out,
what a great family man he is,
that goes to his church saying, I also did. Like,
what do you think of that?
Well, you know, in
might be being
2008,
recorded.
I made it clear that Obama was having marital problems in '99, and everybody in the world said that I was crazy, didn't know what I was talking about. And yet, what was it, 6 months ago, Barack Obama comes out and tells the world that exactly what I said was the truth.
Oh.
In 1999, he and Michelle came
Did
very
he?
close to divorce. Really?
Look that up.
15 years later, what I say is the truth, but 15 years earlier, I'm a liar and a fraud. It's interesting how things eventually come out. But yes, believe me, I've seen.
We are the immediate fact checkers
known
here.
guys that were completely happily married that will screw around with another man on a weekly basis and think nothing of it.
On a weekly basis?
Is it your sense that that's who Obama is, just transactional, or that he's bisexual, or like, what is this?
No,
he's a whore.
My feeling that Barack Obama is probably, he's definitely bi. I think there is a lot of transactional qualities to him, because I think
I'm not
whatever
seeing
he
anything
does,
about
it
Barack
is
Obama
looking
having marital
for a hook
problems
or looking for a benefit.
in 1999 or otherwise.
That's consistent with his public persona too.
Was it in his book?
So
I'm looking.
Donald Young calls you. You actually end up. Sounds like you kind of like and trust Donald Young.
I did.
Until he
did
died.
he say how long he'd had a relationship with?
He had just said that they had been intimate for years.
Intimate for years. And what happened to Donald Young?
Donald Young was shot dead in his apartment, second floor in Chicago, Illinois. I think it was December 23rd of 2007. According to the police report and the death certificate, multiple gunshot wounds, close range, no forced entry, second floor apartment, yet not a single
Check that out,
resident
please.
in the building
Donald
heard
Young
a single shot.
Death.
Donald
They
Young
can hear
did die
every
in
shot that's
2007.
fired in the street outside.
Here, pause it.
Jeremiah Wright.
Do you have it where it says that he actually was shot multiple times in his own apartment, close range, no force of entry? Like, we need to verify this part, because that's a. I'm sure he's not gonna make that part up.
All right.
Because if he's saying that,
choir conductor found murdered. This is a story from December 2007.
Okay, December 2007.
Young's death has been ruled out. Young's death has been ruled a homicide. His body was discovered inside his South Side home, 69th Street.
So it was ruled a homicide, right?
Yes.
Okay.
It doesn't say cause of death. Found slain in apartment.
I like that word, slain.
Slain. Slayer.
The I just find it hard to believe that the guy from the church that had alleged sexual relations with Senator Obama at the time, maybe, would just come out and say that. If he's calling him to say, watch what you're saying, watch what you're doing, don't freaking come out and say this, because we're never going to agree with it. Like, I find that hard to believe.
Yeah, what seems to me is, so there was it looks like there was a book that someone wrote that was like, the conspiracy of Donald Young's death. And I'm assuming this guy saw that. I was like, I'm going to work that.
Read the book.
Work that into my story.
Yeah, and that's a quite a bit of a fallacy right there when you are looking for the details that corroborate the story that you believe, or you might be missing some details, and to make it sound more plausible, you're filling in the details with this extra hardcore evidence that might be actually true, and then say, well, this is true, so therefore I must be speaking the truth.
Right. Yeah. That's given, the best lies have a grain of truth.
Yep. So far with this guy, I mean, to be very honest, I think he's weird. Number one, which again doesn't take away from what he might be saying, but number two, I would want to know, if I were Tucker, why would you want to come out with this information? Why do you care that he says the truth? Are you the purveyor of truth? Are you the freaking truth police? Like, who cares? Why would anyone care about a drug dealer, gay guy who travels around to different cities to do drugs and have sex with gay guys? Why would anyone care that you feel good about yourself, that he didn't lie about his relationship with you? Like, to me, that's,
yeah.
There's that's my insight into that part.
Just pointing out Stryker's comment. There was apparently Michelle Obama did say in an interview there was a little bit where their relationship was rocky when their kids were real little.
Okay.
Which would have been in I think their first kid was born in 98.
Okay. I'm gonna say because they're both in college. No, they both graduated at this point.
Yes. So Obama was a senator in 97.
Okay. And this happened in 90. He said 99.
99. Yes. So at this.
So why was he getting calls at 97?
No, wait, what? He said he was getting calls in.
Yeah, because that guy died in 97, right?
No, 2007.
Oh, 2007. My bad.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm pretty sure he said
because at this point he had called up the campaign to be like, hey, Obama was doing drugs in 99. You guys should say that.
Yeah. It so far seems as though he wants kind of some notoriety for being there with him, because what other reason would you have? I don't understand the reason that you would have to kind of out somebody for doing drugs and, getting a blowjob.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And
that joke about, it's not gay if you're the one that's coming, that's from college. Just FYI, my fraternity was like,
yeah,
we were known for always, like, we loved partying with each other because we were good guys, and all the freaking other fraternities were like douchebags. And
I just assumed that was like a wrestling thing.
Oh, you thought the wrestling part was the more gay, not the fraternity part.
Yeah, I mean, boy, you're really whatever. Don't ask, don't tell, or whatever.
You're gonna have someone coming out. Jose Pio, he didn't acknowledge his relationship with me.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, he was smoking cocaine.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Smoking cocaine.
Yeah, guess what?
You do.
I already had my 4 years in of politics. At this point, I would think you've already found what you needed to find.
It seems like prime Tucker Carlson.
Tucker, I gotta say, he kind of so far, in my opinion, I don't think this is the hard-hitting podcast that I would have wanted to see if it were to kind of create some kind of thing. If I were the media right now, I'd be like, this is stupid. This is too low for Tucker. He's gonna ruin his own reputation.
Yeah, his credibility.
Yeah, this is what I'm saying as a very middle ground person, and I'm saying that you as a liberal, you're also saying he's gonna lose credibility on this.
Yeah, I don't even dislike Tucker Carlson. I think he, as an interviewer,
right?
Like, he's pretty good. I like his little zingers. I like his very deadpan delivery.
His terrible laugh that he throws in once in a while.
His concerned, furrowed brow, like
furrowed brow
face.
Fantastic.
Yeah. And
I'm a Tucker fan because he does he brings comedy to politics.
Yeah.
Like, as much as he may not be a comedian, to me he's the closest to a comedian interviewer.
It does feel like comedy.
Right.
I noticed when he was on the air, I didn't see him very often, but like anytime I would pass by his show, he would have like the same he had this one woman who was like super liberal, that he would bring on to like debate with.
Yep.
And she had just the craziest eyes. like her eyes, she always looked like super wide.
Well, you got to bring the craziest of the crazies on,
right,
to kind of drive your point home when you are also that crazy.
Right. And it was just very clear, like it felt funny to watch.
That person's a caricature of what he's trying to fight against.
Yes.
But his like that, when he like says things like that, and then he comes out with the like, his laugh is killer. So that I know that he's a great interviewer. I know he can get in the room with anybody. I feel this interview might have brought him down quite a few pegs, in my opinion, so far. I know there's people out there. Yeah, Stryker's even saying for Tucker, this is a flop. Yeah, it's not the hard-hitting interview that I thought it was going to be. I thought if it were me, it would require someone to come out and say, like, I got Eiffel Towered by Obama and Michael Obama. She's really a dude. I have the evidence for it. I collected the semen from my, like, that's what I want to see. At this point, he's just saying things that I believe. I read up a little bit on this guy. I believe he did a what do you call those tests where you gotta, get the wires all around you and you gotta tell the truth or else
polygraph.
Thank you. Took a polygraph and he failed it. It might have been he was on drugs. I don't know. He might have been nervous. I don't know. But either way,
polygraphs are kind of bullshit.
I think they are as well. In the MI field, we don't really rely on that. We rely on that only if it corroborates like two other sources. So if we have the IMIT and the humans, so human intelligence and the imagery intelligence, and then you get the freaking person on, the freaking machine saying this, that, and the other. All right, well, that corroborates what we already pretty much knew. You can break that system pretty simply by understanding how to control your heart rate, how to control your breathing. There's ways to get over it, around it. I know how to do it.
Sure. And I always think, like, if you're in that situation where you're being like polygraphed, like your heart rate's probably going a little like crazy anyway.
Well, they know to ask you certain questions that are going to keep you pretty level. So that's why the first 5 questions, 3 to 5 questions are always like, are you 43 years old? Is your name Austin?
Check your baseline. Yeah.
Yeah.
But then you move on to, did you murder him?
Yeah.
And like, oh,
exactly.
Your heart rate's probably like, oh no, that's a wildly different question.
But if your heart rate stays that way, so what you need to do is those first 3 questions, your heart rate needs to stay like this so that when you answer something that you know to be a lie, you can relax what it is that you're doing, and then your heart rate's going to automatically do that.
Oh yeah. Oh, there you go.
So you just got to create an atmosphere in which your heart rate jumps when you are asked very simple questions.
Play the graph.
You got to play the graph.
Got to play the graph.
That's right. This right here is all that matters.
Yeah.
It lands within this sphere. All right. Once it goes past here, that means you were here, now you're here, or you were here, now you're here. Like, as long as you can expand your basic questions so that your heart rate is here, so that when you lie, it's also there, you'll be all right. I'm not going to tell you how to do it.
Okay. I mean, more than you just did?
Yeah, I can tell you can do it. I'm not going to tell you how to do it.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
It's not that hard, though.
No, it doesn't sound.
Let's figure out what else he's going to say. Honestly, it might not take very much for me to say, all right, this interview's over with, because it's really not hitting what I thought it was going to be.
No.
I didn't expect much, and it's not hitting the much.
And there's no evidence, and it's just,
like, bring receipts.
Yeah, the limo receipt, something. The bar. The name of the bar. Know
the name of the bar. Show you have a receipt from there. Show you have a picture with the guy from that night, maybe. Sure, I know it's hard for 1999, but the limo driver.
Yeah.
Bring the limo driver in.
Source, the bartender, someone.
Somebody.
Yes.
The hotel room.
Literally any sort of corroborative.
You were right the first time.
Corroborative.
Yeah. Sure.
There it is. Yeah.
So far, I don't think I'm inaccurate in saying that if I were still in military intel, this guy would be, we would toss him to the side unless he had another human being to say, this is what I saw, this is what I encountered, and it corroborated at least somewhat.
Right.
So this guy by himself is no good.
No good.
But let's see what else he has to say for a little bit, and then we'll jump into our own podcast.
Announces that Donald Young's dead earlier that morning, even before it was announced, even before he was declared dead. I mean, a lot of it just didn't make sense.
This is all public, and you can look this up, and
which is what he did.
Still on the internet. Tell us about Donald Young's mother.
Norma Jean Young actually is a former Chicago Police Department employee.
Really?
Okay.
Really. She has worked for the Chicago PD.
Why would he know about her?
Yeah, relevance.
I had spoken with his sister Lorraine shortly after I realized that he was the gentleman that I had been speaking with. There were people at the time that were attempting to have Lorraine and other members of Donald's family file criminal complaints against me with Chicago because they wanted me arrested. They were trying to get the family to say that I was trying to con them or something. To my knowledge, they never did any such thing.
How do you find that out?
But at the same time, I continue to respect Lorraine and the rest of the family. But Mrs. Young had finally come out and told David Nelson, who was a reporter that I knew out of Minnesota, that she was convinced that Donald had been killed, that his death was to protect his friend Obama. And she confirmed that they had, in fact, been extremely close.
That doesn't mean doesn't mean gay.
I mean, did she confirm that they'd had sex?
Right.
Obama and Donald Young?
Her confirmation wasn't referencing, or she did not specifically say that they were sexually involved. She just simply said that they had been intimate friends for years.
But she believed
they went to
Obama
the same
campaign
church.
Was responsible.
She believed that his death was due to protecting.
So bring the mom on.
Yeah,
she's probably at this point.
I made the same argument that people said, well, how are you accusing Barack? I said, I'm not accusing Barack of anything. But I said, I'm willing to bet my life that Barack Obama and Jeremiah Wright both know or have knowledge of who killed Donald Young. There is no doubt in my mind about that.
Well, this was a guy who was clearly going to be the next leader of the world. You know, people kill each other over insurance claims, over bar fights. There's a lot at stake here. I have no knowledge of this. I'm not alleging a murder by the Obama campaign or its allies, but it's not. It's not a crazy thing to wonder, obviously.
No, and the only thing after I realized what had happened with Donald Young, the only thing I'd ever asked was the same thing that I had done. And I said, you know, if you want to accuse me of being crazy, you know, release your phone records. You know, turn over your phone records from your phone in '99. Turn over your phone records for the last year. I mean, it's that easy. If you've got nothing to hide, it's not like they're going to be made public. Turn them over to authorities. Let them investigate. Let them look. But no.
He should have his phone records, right?
So I now seems
showing
like
that he was getting calls.
Yeah. By the way, the only evidence I can find of Norma Jean Young is in reference to Larry Sinclair's book.
Obama was lying about his drug use.
Right.
But then after the Donald Young exchange, where he brings up the sex that you had with Obama, what was the point at which you decided, I'm just going to bring this to the country? I'm going to go public.
Well, in January of 2008, after having contacted the campaign yet again, I had decided, you know what? Screw it. I'm just going to make a YouTube video and put it up, which I did. It wasn't because I was looking for anything out of it.
Yeah, you were.
In fact, if I had even stopped long enough to anticipate the blowback and the consequences of speaking out, me being me, it probably would not have stopped me. It might have slowed me a little bit, but it would not have stopped me. But I figured if you're going to call him out, you can't call him out on part of it. And people said, well, why didn't you just talk about the drug use and leave the sex out? And I said, because if I said he just used drugs and then you found out later it was drugs and sex, you would accuse me of lying because I didn't mention the sex. So my opinion was, if you're going to tell the story, then you tell the whole story and let the chips fall where they're.
All right, I'm kind of done with this guy.
So
I'm not gonna lie. Also, the date on our title is wrong. It says September 9th. I understand that September 6 and 9 go together.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry guys. If you want to go watch that, I don't blame you. Go ahead, go watch that. But this guy has no credibility in my books, because to me, you're going to come out against a guy who's running for president for doing drugs in his past. We're still talking again 1999.
Yeah.
and he ran for president in 2007.
Right.
And he won in 2008.
Right.
We're talking 8 years later. You know how much change a person can do in 8 years. Honestly, I'm not saying that he's wrong. I'm not saying that he's lying. I'm not saying that
I am.
he very might. Let's pretend for a minute that let's pretend for a minute he's speaking the truth.
Okay.
Does that matter to you that if, let's say, I did crack 9 years ago,
Sure,
and I decide I'm going to run for mayor?
Yeah.
Will you not vote for me because I did crack 9 years ago? Then again, I just said out loud, I'm pretty sure I would not vote for me.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, it does bring into question your judgment.
Yeah. Not literally. As soon as I said it, I was like, oh crap. Actually, you know what? I wouldn't vote for me. But why would someone else come out and say that I did if they didn't have anything to gain from it? Like, why out somebody? Why would he out him? I guess that's my big question. In your opinion, why would you out somebody if you saw me doing, crack 9 years ago?
Okay.
And I decided to run for mayor. Why would you come out and say, hey, I saw Jose doing crack 9 years ago?
So I guess, cynical reason is that guy wanted the clout or like
that's the first thing that comes to my mind.
Right. Write a book or whatever.
Right. Is there a legitimate reason in your eyes? What's a legitimate reason?
So like you were just saying, if you found out somebody was doing crack 9 years before they ran for office, you would maybe not vote for them. So there are political reasons.
Right. So you would not want people to vote for him.
Right. So if you're if you're a Republican and the person running is a Democrat, then that's a reason right there.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Or if you best case scenario, this person believes they're being virtuous. They think this person's not fit for office. They want to protect the public. That's the
protect the public. Okay.
Yes, that's the most virtuous case scenario.
Okay.
But I doubt.
I just everything about this guy I don't take seriously at all. Let's say he did freaking blow Barack Obama.
Yeah.
All right. That's the part I guess, if anything, that would be the part that I'm like, what are you getting out of that? You just want to say that you blew the president, in my opinion.
Right. And I don't know. I just don't. Barack Obama, he's charismatic guy. Surely he could.
Is he charismatic because he's gay?
Yeah. Are you saying all charismatic people are?
No, what
gay?
I'm saying is, if you're gay, you tend to be charismatic.
So
not all, not all. I guess.
Are charismatic.
Yeah, now I'm thinking to myself of many gay guys that I know that are like not charismatic.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's a correlation between.
This is why we do the podcast, so we can air things out, so we can go through it in our own heads, I guess. All right, let's get into the actual podcast, because I really had enough of that guy.
Yeah.
Good for him for coming out. Good for Tucker for having him, I guess. But at the same time, Tucker, you're bigger than this, man. He's not gonna listen to me. He's obviously not watching our podcast.
Yeah, he's those numbers are. Don't lie.
What did he hit? Do you still have it up on the? Where's he at now?
The window, but give me a second.
Go ahead. Why you're doing that? Oh, while you're doing that, bring up the Trump article we're going to talk about.
Okay.
So what I see that the Democrats are going to try to do, and I don't think this is all Democrats, but I believe that most Democrats will get behind, is not only are they trying to prevent Donald Trump from being the next president, at this point, they are trying to prevent him from even running.
By the way, Tucker Carlson, 1.4 million.
Within an hour, 1.4 million.
Yep. So you know what? We can say it's a flop for Tucker or whatever.
No, because when he interviewed Donald Trump, he had 100-something million people.
Well, that's different. Donald Trump is Donald.
Well,
Trump.
You would think that the same people that want to listen into Donald Trump being interviewed would also want to hear that his top three nemesis
I mean, I guess it
is
just
a
goes to
drug addict and homosexual.
like the credibility thing. Like I've been meaning to watch the Tucker Carlson Donald Trump interview. I haven't got around to it, but
I ended up watching it that night, obviously after our podcast.
You know, because that's like because Donald Trump is a presidential candidate.
Mm-hmm.
Like there are other reasons to watch that.
So far, he is.
Yeah, right. We're getting to that, I suppose. But,
so far, he is.
So I guess a better barometer would be literally anyone else Tucker Carlson has interviewed. Like there's Donald Trump is like the most notorious person, or currently, like literally any.
He gets the most amount of energy towards him, whether hate or love. He gets the most amount of energy.
Literally anyone could interview Donald Trump, and that would get millions of views.
I
like Tucker is almost irrelevant in that view count.
Okay, true. All right, I can see that.
So that's why I would say like that one's not a good test of.
I guess we would need to see his interview with somebody else.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
So
literally anyone else.
While I discuss this, you pull up another interview that he had recently with somebody else. I think he had an interview with because I tend to watch his interviews because I'm always striving to learn how to be a better podcaster, and so his style of questioning I do enjoy.
So Dave Portnoy,
yes, I did watch that. I watched the entire thing.
13 million.
Yeah.
Someone from Hungary's prime minister.
I did not watch that. So let's equate it to that.
26 million. Jesus.
What? How many people are in Hungary?
100 million. Yes. Jesus. What? Wow. All right.
I would not have guessed that.
Okay. Donald Trump, 264 million.
Yeah, but still.
So that's twice what the other guy got.
The Hungary guy?
Yeah.
But it's also, what did Dave Portnoy get again?
13 million.
Yeah.
What Victor Orban?
He got 10 times more.
I mean, maybe it's just wow. Oh, okay. So the one before that, Colonel Douglas McGregor, 11 million.
I'd listen to Portnoy over him.
Vivek. Sorry,
don't disrespect my boy.
I'm sorry. I've only seen it written. And then
we've literally talked about him every week.
I've never heard his name before in my life. Anyway. 45 million.
Yeah, there we go. All right, so that's
RFK Jr. 12 million.
Oh, that's actually less than I thought it would be.
Yeah,
he has less than Portnoy,
and less than former Capitol Police Chief Stephen Sund.
No,
15 million.
I can understand that.
I've never heard of this.
Well, it doesn't matter. It's a DC police chief.
Do you think the RFK Jr. thing's because of his voice?
God, yes. The answer is yes. I can't stand a guy's voice. I can't listen to him. I can't. I literally cannot.
It sounds like a bullfrog in a trench coat.
And I'm literally like, for the most part, most of the things that he talks about, I'm pretty much in alignment with him.
Yeah.
I can't stand hearing him. I just cannot. I can't.
Yeah.
Sorry, dude. You know, I know that it's like terrible to hear I'm sure he's listening to our podcast as well, right after Tucker Carlson listened to us.
Yeah, of course.
But yeah, no. What the Democrats are going to try and do is they're trying to invoke the 14th Amendment against Mr. previous President Donald Trump, which says that if a previously elected person was involved with some kind of possible overthrow of the government, you cannot serve. I understand why you would think that you could probably pull that out of your ass. From everything I've seen, I can't legitimately say that Donald Trump actually pushed people to overthrow the government. Because I've seen where it said peacefully and what was it? Peacefully and patriotically, I believe the quote was, let's go to he didn't tell people to go inside the freaking Capitol. He didn't tell people to overthrow the government. On top of that, if you truly believe that the people that got into the Capitol building were, number one, able to kill people inside of there, because again, they had Secret Service, they had the DC police in there, they had everyone armed but the protesters. Everyone there was armed but the protesters. I can't believe that you think that they would have overthrown the government. personally, I can't believe it. That being said, the Proud Boys leader was just recently sentenced, which is another article we're about to bring up now. Yeah, it was written after the Civil War. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I'm not quite sure.
So what they're trying to invoke is Section 3 of the 14th.
Read it. Go ahead. You got it?
Yeah, I got it. No person shall be a senator or representative in Congress or elector or president and vice president or hold any office, civil or military, under the United States or under any state who, having previously taken an oath as a member of Congress or et cetera, to support the Constitution of the United States, shall have engaged in insurrection or rebellion against the same, or given aid or comfort to enemies thereof. But Congress may, by a vote of 2/3 of each house, remove such disability.
Yeah. All right. So you, as the resident liberal, do you believe that Donald Trump could be held accountable and the 14th Amendment being used against him for January 6th?
I don't really think it was an insurrection, so I'm going to say no. It's certainly an interesting use of the Constitution.
I think they're attempting very many interesting uses of words. In all 4 of the cases that he has going on. Do I think that he's going to be found guilty on all 4? No. Will he be found guilty on maybe like 1 or 2 individual underneath 1 or 2 of the 4 cases that he has? Probably. But you can easily plead your way out of it.
Sure.
And every time they charge him with something, it's right after something big happened on the other side, which is absolutely. very, the timing is impeccable.
The politicization of the law is wild.
So you see it.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay. So that's fantastic to hear, because I've been looking at it and I'm like, this is going too far.
So, I mean, I guess I reserve my conspiracy theories to a minimum, because I think it's important, kind of like what we were just talking about with Tucker Carlson and his like credibility. I think if you believe every conspiracy theory, when a real one rears its head, your credibility isn't.
That's like when you cry racism for everything, and then when real racism rears its ugly head, well, guess what? We're not taking it as seriously.
Loses meaning. So yes, when I see something like this, I absolutely think this is a political move.
Okay, good to hear. The Proud Boys leader being sentenced. We have the article for that. This would then have to fall in line with what you were just saying. It says Proud Boys leader, was it Henry Tarrio, sentenced to 22 years for role in the Capitol riot. Do you believe anybody?
What was he actually convicted of? Like, what was the charge?
Oh, let me pull that up since it is too small for me to see. He's Henry Tarrio. There we go. They sought a 33-year prison term for Tarrio, who was convicted in May, along with 3 others, of seditious conspiracy for efforts to prevent Congress from approving the 2020 election win by President Joe Biden, which culminated in a mob of former. So seditious conspiracy. Look up more information on seditious conspiracy.
All right, U.S. Code 2384, seditious conspiracy. Let's see here. Conspire to overthrow, put down, or to destroy by force the government of the United States, or to levy war against them, or to oppose by force the authority thereof, or by force to prevent, hinder, or delay the execution of any law of the United States.
Cool. So we've seen the left do that quite a few times when it comes to like Supreme Court.
Sure. Okay.
Quite a few times.
You're saying that the Supreme Court has committed seditious conspiracy?
No, what I'm saying is that people who are protesting against the Supreme Court are doing exactly what he did, which was to stop them from putting into action the overturning of the Roe v. Wade. Let's say, for example.
Oh, sure. Okay. Yeah.
So in that case, do you think that he should be sentenced to 22 years in jail?
I guess in your Roe v. Wade case, you would have to prove some sort of, so a conspiracy is if 2 or more persons in any state or territory. So
is there also something on there that says like you're going to get between 5 to 55 years or something? What's the actual?
Oh, okay. Hold on. They shall each be fined under this title or imprisoned not more than 20 years or both. This is on Cornell law.
Right. So not more than 20 years, but he got 22 years.
So did he get convicted on more than one charge?
It says seditious conspiracy. That's all it says in the article.
You guys, guilty of multiple felonies, including seditious conspiracy. So he was convicted of multiple things. So that's what it could go over 20 years.
All right, fine. Do you believe he deserved 22 years?
No, because I don't think that. Again, I don't think it was really an insurrection. I also, though, to your previous point about like the Roe v. Wade situation, I think you'd have to prove that it was a concerted effort to.
Well, they showed up at the Supreme Court justices' houses,
right? And
only certain ones,
right? And did they arrange like a group to do that?
Yeah, I'm sure it was a Facebook group or.
Okay, then yeah, so you could probably charge.
Yeah, they didn't charge him at all.
I'm sure they didn't.
Not a single one. Nothing.
Yeah,
that's my issue. Same energy. That's like my biggest thing is same energy.
Yeah,
and I think that's what we're missing in this country is the amount of output that people are doing. So let's say January 6th, I don't equate it to what happened during the Summer of Love, because Summer of Love was far more dangerous, far more destructive. Multiple people lost their lives. We here in Rochester saw it where, public property was burned down, businesses were burned down. We saw a woman get beat down by a 2x4.
Sure. Yeah.
Did you not see it?
No, it's just I was thinking of Kimberly. That was the incident that got her booted off the radio.
All right. Well, it's not gonna get me booted off anything.
Yeah,
those motherfuckers. That's where the boyfriend should have stood up and freaking start shooting people. To be honest, that's why you need to carry guns, because there's people out there that do not care about your life at all. They don't care about their own life.
Oh, that video is wild.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Can you imagine watching your girlfriend get beat up by a 2x4 by a group of guys? How would you live with yourself after? I guarantee they had to have broken up afterwards.
Right.
Because you can't, as a woman, you can't respect a man that, I think he ran inside or something like that. Or he kind of fell down and didn't do anything about it.
Unless you're just grabbing your gun or something.
Dude, I'm sorry, but I'm grabbing eyeballs. I'm kicking nuts.
Yeah.
I'm doing whatever needs to happen in order for the woman that I'm dating or married to. Look, I'm doing what I have to do. Period.
Yeah.
You're walking away worse off than me. Or if I walk away terrible, I put up a fight, because there's no way you're gonna beat my freaking wife with a 2x4.
Yeah. Like I'm saying, my gun is in the next room over to my entrance. So I would just
don't say where it is. Yeah, there was a noise last week. My wife woke me up. I didn't hear any noise. And she woke up. She's like, "Did you hear that?" I'm like, "No, what?" She's like, "Did you hear that?" I'm like, "No." I got up, had to put underwear on because I sleep naked.
Sure.
The last thing you want is freaking, police showing up and you're just freaking balls out. Got the weaponry.
Yeah.
And freaking came out in the open, because that's the first thing that a intruder needs to hear.
Yeah.
If you cocked it in your bedroom with the door closed, that's not the same. I can say that I opened up my door, walked to my stairs, and coming downstairs, they heard it. Like, you're not hearing that shotgun.
Right.
And then walking downstairs, I come back, I'm like, "Babe, what are you talking about? There was nothing." She's like, "Oh, that was so hot." I was like, "Yeah, that's right." That's right. So, men, be men. Like, honestly. And women, stop dating pussy ass guys. Sorry.
Yeah.
Pussy ass guys. Because I know for a fact, even you as a liberal, you're not freaking sitting there watching your girl get beat up by a 2x4.
No.
Even if you're on the ground incapacitated, you're still going to get up and start swinging. I already, like, you're a burly guy. You're throwing freaking arms, bodies, everything you can.
I mean, that's about my style, is just sort of throw
Just
my
flailing,
weight at it
just
and,
flailing.
and flail. Yeah.
Have at it.
Yeah.
I'm a wrestler. So as you alluded to earlier, I'm taking you down one way or another. Like, you're going to come down to the ground so that you're like the same height as me.
Oh, that's
so just know that
that's not difficult. I'm very top heavy.
That's right. All you gotta do, and I got used to this when the way I wrestled in high school was I understood that the body has certain contortions that it would not be able to withstand. So if I took your ankle with my right hand and then put my left hand on your knee and just like pulled in opposite directions, you're falling down.
Sure.
Immediately. Like, there's nothing. Same thing with the arm. Same thing with the head. Like, it was certain things that you're just not going to prevent from falling.
Yeah.
And I learned it pretty quickly. And I believe that's why Lavelle's brother said I was such a good wrestler, which he said earlier, and he said it was cap, but I was a really good wrestler.
I believe you.
I know. So that right there, Proud Boys, look, I've been around groups of guys who are real patriots, who are gung-ho about our country, who are just seriously, they're not racist at all. They're just like, look, if it goes down, I'm ready, and my boys are ready. I'm ready, and my crew is ready. I've been around those guys.
Sure.
Never once, not a single time ever have I ever felt like my life was in danger or that they were looking at me like I don't belong. I never joined.
Right. But
I was around there because being someone who stood up against the tyranny of, the COVID response, the mask mandates, the vaccine mandates, closing down businesses, stuff like that, I automatically was invited into certain groups to say, hey, come talk, or hey, come listen to what we're doing. And I'm not one to really ever say, no, I'm cool. I don't want to. If I know that you stand for our government or stand for our country, not our government, stand for our country and stand for liberties and stand for freedom, I'm willing to come talk, and I'm willing to come listen. I'm willing to hear you out. I'm willing to see what's up. I've never been around Proud Boys. I've heard that they were at the protest at the Strong Memorial Hospital. If they were, I never felt like I was, outcasted, because I was at almost every single one until it got to a certain point. I'm like, what are we doing at this point? Like, we have to either, ransack the freaking hospital, run in there and freaking overthrow it, or we're kind of just done arguing against it because they're going to do whatever they want to do. I've never felt any kind of way around them. So to sit there and say that this guy, who I believe was Mexican, is he?
Terrio?
Yeah, he's Hispanic. I know he's Hispanic.
Okay. All right.
Because I remember an article coming out that saying that he was like white adjacent, or that Latinos were turning towards being racist against their own people.
Okay.
It was things like, where the far left, Axios.
Oh, okay.
Was the one who came out with it. I know for a fact. I remember it. I watched it, and then I saw an article the next day. I've never felt out of place to where I felt like they looked at me like you're Hispanic and we don't want your people here.
Right.
They know the difference between an illegal immigrant and someone who's here legally. They will joke around about it. I've gotten my fair share of Mexican jokes. You can sit there and say, well, you shouldn't stand for that. Yeah, trust me. I know when it's too far. I know when it's gone too far. I know when it's like meant in anger as opposed to I'm playing with you. I get that you're Puerto Rican. You're not really Mexican. I'm still going to mess with you a little bit. Like, I understand when something is just too far, and I'll say it.
Yeah.
Usually it's when they're talking about my height. But I don't believe 22 years was appropriate in this case. I don't believe, and I don't believe that BLM would deserve 22 years either.
Okay.
That, again, equal energy, same energy. Like, I don't believe that BLM showing up to the Supreme Court justices' houses who happen to be conservative, and them protesting them reversing the Roe v. Wade and saying, either you're going to freaking change your mind or we're going to do something about it. That's seditious conspiracy in my mind as well.
Sure.
I don't believe that's 22 years in prison. I don't believe it's even like maybe not even a tenth of that. I don't believe you deserve 2 years in prison for, doing what he did or doing what BLM did.
Okay.
I believe that you need to understand you did wrong.
Yeah.
We brought it up last week or 2 weeks ago on podcast where prison is not really the answer for everything.
Sure.
I believe there is a time when you can sit there and say, you were wrong on this, and we're going to make you give up your family time or your friend time or your bar time or your free time, and you're going to have to go freaking clean up graffiti on 104 with the homeless people. Like that's going to suck.
Yeah. Communities, and I think community service is
I think it's underrated. Like
absolutely,
you can really mess some people's lives up,
and you accomplish things.
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It's win-win.
Our city is trash.
It's good for
I'll be very honest about that. Our city is very much trash. I see trash everywhere, and we allow it, especially the street corners where the homeless people are begging for money. There's trash everywhere right there. Well, guess what? You want to steal a freaking Kia or Hyundai? All right, you're going to spend a freaking 50 hours picking up trash. And you're going to be defacing the eraser thing for the graffiti that are on the underpasses and all over our freaking highways. Go spend time cleaning that shit up. You're going to hate it. Trust me. The last thing you want to do is wake up on a Saturday morning and be there by 8 o'clock to then work till 3, 4, 5 o'clock and then do that for multiple weekends in a row.
Yeah.
That's the last thing you want to do.
For sure.
It sucks.
Yeah.
I've had to do it because I threw parties in college and I'll get in trouble for charging at the party. Because it was $5 get in, you get the freaking beer, yada, yada. I'll get in trouble and they're like, are you not going to do community service? I'm like, damn it, dude. Like is it the third time already? Because they give you leeway after the first 1 or 2 times.
Yeah. Third strike though.
Third strike is like, all right, you got to do 50 hours of community service. I'm like, that was the worst.
Yeah, I bet.
And you don't show up, they double your time. So I had to show up. Anyways, so that's my input there. Proud Boys leader did not deserve 22 years. BLM, who destroyed and ransacked businesses, again, I don't believe they would deserve 22 years in prison either. I think anyone with a common sense would say 22 years is that's pretty hardcore.
I mean, yeah, but did tell that to the owners of all those businesses and stuff,
Yes, I believe they should probably work at that business as well.
Yeah.
It should be like, Seinfeld when it was like forced labor. You don't know Seinfeld.
I know Seinfeld. Oh, Seinfeld was awesome.
Seinfeld was awesome.
Seinfeld is like top tier sitcom.
Yes, because it was different. There was a movie I watched the other night my wife did not like, and I thought it was really good because it was so different. It's called Bones and All.
Bones and All? I don't know that.
It's on Netflix, I believe it is.
Okay.
Bones and All. I thought it was so different. Like, I love different.
Yeah. Oh, dude, that's what I look for.
Especially in scary movies. This was not a scary movie.
Oh, okay.
But scary movies like The Cabin in the Woods.
Oh, Cabin in the Woods is good.
I love Cabin in the Woods.
That's a great movie.
Wrong Turn. I loved Wrong Turn.
Oh, I didn't see that one.
Oh, man. It was basically the messed up creatures that were created from the atom bomb experiments.
Yeah.
The people that lived, like they started just messing with people who took the wrong turn and like came around their area.
Yeah.
Oh, it was crazy. Like, kind of like Hills Have Eyes.
Yeah.
Very similar to that.
Sure.
But yeah, watch the movie. Let me know what you think.
Bones and All.
Bones and All.
Who's in it?
I'm looking at the wrong camera here. Bones and All.
Do you know who's in it, or is it
nobody?
Nobody. It's
nobody.
It's like an
unknown. Nobody in it.
Low budget.
Even the producer, or I'm sorry, the director. I always like to see who directs a movie because I was like, what other movies have they directed?
Yeah.
And the movies that they directed before, the guy who did it, I didn't think they were that great, but this one, I felt like he killed it. I think there were angles in which I was happy with.
Yeah. Did you ever see Hereditary?
No.
Oh, that's one of my favorite horror
Hereditary.
movies. Hereditary, yeah.
Okay.
Ari Aster is the director. Did you see Midsommar?
Yes.
Okay, he directed that.
Okay.
I like Hereditary more, but
okay. Hereditary. All right.
Yeah,
make sure you message me that later on.
Okay, yeah, for sure.
Let's discuss how there are people in government right now who have no idea what the hell they are doing. I'm not just talking about Biden. We're going to talk about Pete. What's his last name?
Buttigieg. Why are you asking me?
I expected something different from you. Expected something completely different.
What
from
my
you.
dad calls him?
What's
Booty
your dad?
gay?
What's your dad say?
Booty gay?
Booty gay.
Yeah.
Pete Booty gay. All right. This guy, man, the face they used for this article. I love it. I really booty juice. There you go. That's what Biden called him.
That's a good one.
Biden called him booty juice.
Don't say it 3 times. He'll show up.
I don't want him to show up. Maybe that guy that was in the Tucker Carlson freaking interview would like for him to show up.
He's kind of doing the Tucker Carlson face in this picture.
No, he's doing the George Bush face.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. That's the George Bush face. The article says Republicans ask Buttigieg for information on disturbing, quote unquote, aviation rail safety failures. I think we can understand that there has been quite a few failures in terms of planes that are just falling apart midair, railway systems that are just toppling over, so happen to be right next to, a farm or next to a cow farm, or a pig farm or anything that happens to do with bringing us food.
Yeah.
Or if the rail system or whatever they're carrying just happens to be full of some type of chemicals, they just happen to fall right into a river that goes into many different areas that, feed us water all across our country. We have some questions as to, we're paying a lot of taxes. And I actually brought this up on the radio show earlier. The amount of taxes that we pay for, let's say, gas, right? It's supposed to go into infrastructure.
Right.
When we pay our tolls, that's supposed to go towards infrastructure.
Right.
All the taxes that we're paying is supposed to be upgrading our system so that we're not living like we're in third world nations, which, if we were to compare our airports to airports in, let's say, like, I don't know, Abu Dhabi.
Yeah.
Or England. Like, our airports are nowhere near what they're doing in other countries.
Sure.
We are third rate, maybe second rate.
Yeah, but did they have the Cinnabons in their airports?
They don't have Sam Adams Bar in their airports. I know that for sure.
Auntie Anne's.
No one cares about that. That's a mall. That's the middle of the mall.
They have them in the airports too. Like,
okay,
I just flew a few weeks ago.
I would never even eat from that.
Auntie Anne's?
No.
Auntie Anne's so good.
Yeah, I'm gonna take your word for it.
Oh my god!
If I'm in an airport, I'm not eating at an Auntie Anne's.
What? Why? Oh my god! Auntie Anne's is so good.
No, I'm getting a burger. Like, that's the ultimate go-to burger.
You know what goes good with a burger?
A beer.
Big old pretzel.
No, incorrect. You got to have beer at an airport, dude. You can't go to an airport and not drink like mad early.
You know what goes good with a beer? Big old pretzel.
This guy. Speaking of incompetence, Buttigieg, he's incompetent. The only reason why this guy got this job was because he was running for president and he was gay.
Right.
Let's be very clear, very honest. That's how he got his job. That's what I believe. If you believe he had any credibility or any background experience as to how to run the Department of freaking Transportation, please provide it in the notes here. Please give me information as to why you believe his resume should have given him the job of Department of Transportation. Because on top of that, you recall during COVID, the backup of shipping of goods, there were ships that were in the middle of the freaking ocean that were waiting to come in because guess what? We just shut down everything, including the freaking shipping centers that we're supposed to be bringing in all your Amazon.com orders, all your Walmart freaking, restocking, all your Target restocking, because those were the companies that were still open.
Sure.
So this man right here, he does not deserve the job. My question here is, who do you think that is running right now, who is in the Republican, the RNC, the whatever the hell it is, Republican, who's running for a freaking Republican for president? Who do you think right now is running simply to get a job? I have my idea. I'm not gonna say it yet.
Oh, Vivek.
No.
I just
If you don't vote for Vivek, I swear to God, man, I'll tell you what, that guy's been blowing me away. Maybe it's because, once you watch like, one thing on YouTube about him, then you see like 50 other things that pop up.
Oh, the algorithm.
Maybe I'm stuck in the algorithm. That might be it.
In the algorithm.
But there's some people that I would never be stuck in the algorithm about because I don't care what they have to say. Asa Adams, Mike Pence,
Chris Christie.
Chris Christie. There's nothing. If you're fat, I'm sorry. Let me say this. I'm not sorry. If you're obese, I know this phone not there. That's probably getting angry at me using the word obese here. If you're obese and you're running for a position in government, you have less self-control than Obama with what that guy was telling us earlier. Just saying it.
Wow.
Just saying it. Less self-control.
Obese people have less self-control.
They have less self-control than crackhead Obama.
Wow.
Allegedly.
Allegedly,
Crackhead Obama.
Wow. Interesting.
Because at least he was getting off while he was doing crack. I mean, get something out of it.
All right. I mean, I don't know that I necessarily disagree with you.
Maybe I just don't like Chris Christie.
Sure. I
that
guess
might be it.
The difference between those two scenarios is like food is so readily available all the time.
Right. So is drugs.
You have
it's Rochester. Drugs are readily available.
Sure. It's slightly more effort to find drugs than food.
Food is definitely cheaper unless you want to eat healthily. That's the problem I have with healthy food. Like you go to we went to, I'm not a fast food guy. I really just do not like fast food, but my wife loves fast food. I don't get it.
What's her fast food of choice? Like what's
it's usually either Burger King or Chick-fil-A.
Burger King's like bottom tier.
I wouldn't say it's bottom tier. But I wouldn't say Burger King was bottom tier. I would say
Burger King is bottom tier.
I think are you sure Wendy's wouldn't be?
No, Wendy's.
McDonald's. McDonald's is definitely bottom tier. McDonald's is certainly bottom tier.
Burger King is below Wendy's and McDonald's, like by a mile.
All right, let's have this argument.
All right, yeah, let's go.
Let's go with it.
Yeah.
Which burger tastes worse?
Burger King is the worst.
Burger King burgers are the worst to you.
Are the worst.
They're flame broiled.
Yeah, and they taste like butt.
You think Wendy's burgers taste better than Burger King?
Yeah, they're
burgers?
fresh, never frozen.
I haven't had either one of these burgers in I don't know how many years.
Yeah.
I can guarantee you right now, McDonald's burgers taste worse than both of them.
No, well, McDonald's burgers taste like salt.
It tastes terrible.
You have to be in a mood for a McDonald's burger.
Okay, exactly. Which means it's terrible. So let's go to fries. Whose fries are better? McDonald's fries are better.
McDonald's fries are better.
Because they're fake.
Wendy's is the bottom of the fries list.
Yes, I agree.
Okay.
All right. So we're in agreement that so far McDonald's is the worst for burgers.
No, I still say Burger King is the worst. I occasionally will.
But Burger King burgers don't taste like salt. You said that McDonald's burgers taste like salt.
Yeah, and sometimes you want like a nice salty.
No, not sometimes. No one ever does.
With the ketchup and the very ketchupy like.
The best thing they have going for themselves. I'm cutting you off from that.
Okay.
The best thing they have going for themselves is the pickle.
McDonald's
pickle on the burger is better.
Yeah, it plays with the salt and the ketchup and the
it's a good pickle.
Right, it's a distinct. I think it plays with the. It's McDonald's burgers have a unique.
We're gonna lose like 7 people from this. Austin, what's your definition of fresh?
I was just quoting their commercial, fresh never frozen.
Who's
Wendy's
that?
burger.
Wendy's?
Yeah, Wendy's never freezes their burgers. So
yeah,
but
they're square, which means they taste worse.
What?
All square burgers taste worse.
Okay, if you say so.
All square cuts of pizza taste better than the triangle ones.
What? Oh no, you're way off. Way off. No,
I'm pretty sure.
No, triangle pizza.
What do you think? Triangle pizza or square cut? Which one tastes better?
Yeah,
we're putting it to the people.
Yes, chat decides.
Chat always decides. All right, so far, McDonald's burger tastes salty, but yet you would prefer it over Burger King burger, which is flame broiled.
Yeah, flame broiled ass.
Okay, fine. So you don't like eating ass. Gotcha.
No,
fries wise, we both agree that Wendy's is worse. I believe it's because they kept the skin on their fake fries.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, drink wise, and it goes to the drink.
Oh, McDonald's far and away has the best Coke.
Right, but I don't drink Coke. I go to either a milkshake or Flurry. So there has to be, you got to compare those two. Which one's better, strawberry milkshake or a McFlurry?
Oh,
Linda says square pizza.
McFlurry is good.
You think McFlurry is better than a Frosty? 0% chance. 0% chance.
I mean, I don't know. They're different. Frosties are good. I do like Frosties.
Very good.
Yeah.
Their vanilla is fantastic.
Yeah.
I think of vanilla. If I were to compare, because I love the strawberry milkshake from Chick-fil-A.
Oh, the Chick-fil-A milkshake. Chick-fil-A has so far not been in the
No, because they are better.
Chat.
They are better. We know that. Like they are better. I'm always afraid of how many chickens they kill, and it can't be real chickens.
You're throwing off the curve with
that's why we can't even include it.
Right.
Yeah, we can also put in like In-N-Out Burger.
Although, you know what I'll give Burger King?
Carl's Jr.
Burger King has a shockingly good spicy chicken sandwich.
All right, let's go with shockingly good then, because we're gonna give insight into people or for people here. Let me give shockingly good Reuben sandwich from a fast food joint, Arby's.
Yeah.
Reuben sandwich.
Okay, I believe that.
Arby's. Go eat it.
So Arby's is
it's got to be fake though.
Arby's is the most hit or miss. A really good Arby's, top tier.
People are watching me watch you. You gotta put that camera on.
But also, like bottom tier Arby's, like when an Arby's is bad, it's
their
worst.
Regular roast beef is gross. You have to have the cheddar with it.
The beef and cheddar. The beef and cheddar with the onion roll.
Yes.
And
not a regular roll. Onion roll.
They have the onion roll and it's and they put like a red sauce on it. It's the beef and cheddar.
You mean a horsey sauce?
No.
Not the horsey sauce?
No, the beef and cheddar has its own specific sauce, which is they call it Red Ranch.
I don't trust that.
Which you can't, like, you can ask for it on the side, but it's not like the.
Is it a secret menu? Do you know the secret menu, Austin?
Arby's the Red Ranch.
Arby's Red Ranch.
It's only on the beef and cheddars.
Okay.
And it's delicious.
Fine. We're gonna have to talk about best pizza in Rochester.
Okay.
Put my camera on though.
Oh well, hold on.
While you're doing that, I'm gonna tell you who my favorite pizza joint is. All right. And this is not to be a discussion because I already know it's the best. And it's a conveyor belt pizza, mind you. Pudgy's Pizza.
Oh,
Pudgy's Pizza is the best pizza in Rochester.
Can I say I have not actually had Pudgy's Pizza.
Because you're too busy going across the street to get freaking that shitty pizza. That thing's gonna kill you, dude. I'm telling you right now. Little Caesar's Pizza is gonna kill you.
I haven't even had it that often.
Doesn't matter. You've had enough. It's going to kill you. It's cardboard.
It is cardboard.
Absolutely cardboard.
I'm not sure why this camera isn't turning on.
It's the one that always messes up anyway. So maybe
that's
maybe we're just better off with seeing my side profile.
Yeah.
Who's your best pizza?
Best pizza might be Cam's.
Okay, I'm okay with that.
Cam's is solid.
I'm okay with that.
Cam's is.
They closed the one on East Ave. Which is sad.
I gotta call out Striker right now. Salvatore's.
Nah, dude.
However, what I'll give Salvatore's is their $10 daily deals.
I don't know what that.
Every day of the week they have a different $10 deal. Monday medium pizza, Wednesday calzone, Thursday large sub.
Thursday's large sub.
Yeah,
even including steak sub.
Yeah,
okay.
And I think it's a large sub and a drink for
Salvatore steak sub is not bad.
Yeah. So the Salvatore's $10 deals, solid. They get like clutch.
Okay, good call out there.
Yeah. However, their pizza is
not.
It's not the worst. It's better than Little Caesars.
It's better than Little Caesars. Yes.
Yeah. It's better than like Pizza Hut or like a chain.
A close second in my life. Cam's is really good.
Cam's is good.
And old school Pontillo's. I'm talking like Bushnell's Basin or Ronacoit.
I was gonna say Pontillo's is a location thing.
Yeah.
It depends on where you're.
Because Charlotte had a shitty one.
Yeah.
Real shitty one. It was all bread and all sauce.
Yeah. Have you had Craglio's?
Craglio's is very good.
Craglio's is solid.
I have not gone there enough.
They won Pizza Palooza one year, which is what
Carbones.
Carbones is good. Expensive though.
It is, and you can only pick it up.
Yeah. So
which is crazy to me.
So Carbones is like a once in a blue moon.
They have the cup and char pepperoni, which I really like.
Yeah. You can get that at Cam's too.
Salvatore's has an old school or old fashioned sauce.
Sauce?
Sauce and the old fashioned pepperoni.
Yeah, the old fashioned pepperoni.
Yeah, if you get the old fashioned like large that they have, that's actually really good.
Yeah.
All right, we gotta go to sub now.
Sub?
Favorite sub place. I know my top two.
Oh man. Rhinos?
I've never been there.
Oh, Rhinos.
Rhinos.
Yeah.
Where is it?
Humboldt Street.
Humboldt Street. Okay. Rhinos on Humboldt Street. I've never heard of
it.
They
have a real big sub menu.
Oh, we also have to decipher what's a sub and what's because I'm a connoisseur of Cuban sandwiches, which is a sandwich in my opinion, but it could be a sub.
Sure.
But Cubans are my top go-to.
Okay.
When it comes to that kind of sub, I guess.
Sure.
So in that case, I have to say, if you wanted a Cuban, you got to go to Giorgio's.
Okay, I haven't been to Giorgio's.
Giorgio's is top for Cuban.
Okay.
I'm what I know is Cubans and damn it, I lost track of it.
Rubens.
Thank you.
Cubans and Rubens.
Did I say this before?
You mentioned the Reuben at Arby's.
Yes.
So that's what.
Okay, cool. Good call.
Yeah.
Fox's Reuben is the best.
Okay. All right.
So there you go. There's a two. If Godfather sub at I'm gonna guess DeBella's.
DeBella's, yeah. Said that. Which, again, I'm sorry, Striker, but
that's
a mid. DeBella's is mid.
It really
it's not bad.
I think Wegmans sub. I think the Wegmans Godfather sub or old fashioned. I think it's called. There is better than DeBella's.
They bought DeBella's recipes.
And made it better with the better bread.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Yeah, Wegmans not bad.
Wegmans is not bad, especially in the summertime when you just want a dinner, but you don't want to go to a sub place.
Yeah.
Like Pino's on Westridge Road, they have a very good chicken melt.
Ooh.
Very good chicken melt.
Yeah, I like a buffalo chicken sub or like a the one at Rhinos I get it's called Hot Jason.
So Rhinos has a good buffalo chicken sub.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm cool with that.
Get the Hot Jason. It's buffalo
Hot Jason.
Yeah.
I feel like that's gay.
I know, but it's so good though. It's buffalo chicken, steak, and cheese. Oh,
steak?
Yeah, it's steak and the chicken fingers.
Oh, okay, all right. No, you caught my opinion. My attention there.
Yeah, it's real good.
But my favorite steak sub, Calabracelas.
All right, man. I'm making a list here.
Calabracelas. It's literally not even like there's no close second. Okay. I've never had a close second.
All right.
It's that good. Shaved, because I really like shaved.
Sure.
Like shake steak, shaked Reubens.
Okay.
Shaved. I said shaked.
Yeah, you said shaked. That's fine.
Shaved Reubens. I'm a big fan of shaved meats.
Like in the deli, like shaved ham when it's like crumbly.
Yeah.
So good. I don't think they have it anymore, but Wegmans used to have Virginia baked ham that shaved was the best.
Okay. I'm not a big fan of Virginia baked ham.
I only liked it from Wegmans. Okay. I don't know what kind they had. It was delicious and shaved. It was amazing. You throw it in the pan.
I've never had a chopped. Like, have you ever heard of chopped?
Like cubed or like?
No, like you put all the ingredients together and then they like chop it all together.
Oh, interesting.
I've seen it, but I've never had it. Do we have a chopped anything in Rochester?
I've never seen chopped.
Colon kicker is Calabracelas.
Sure. All right.
What did Striker? Did someone say something before that?
No, I think Strikers. Okay. Strikers. We only have one opinion on the Triangle Pizza Square Pizza.
At this point, we probably only have 2 people listening anyway. So
yeah,
we lost everyone for food.
But Square Pizza, you know what? The inside piece, no crust, is good.
I like the side piece that has a little bit of crust, and I'm the same way with my brownies.
As opposed to like the corner piece.
Not the corner piece. No,
I think that's the problem with the Square Pizza, is you end up with the corner pieces.
You sure do.
And that is the worst.
That's okay. Throw away. Give it to your dog.
Yeah, I didn't know. You know what? The triangle pizza, every piece is good.
I'm saying this because my wife says it. To be very clear here, my wife is like, she requires square pizza.
Oh, you got
not an actual square pizza, but square cut.
Salvatore says square cut by default.
Well, you can ask them. Yeah, you can ask them.
Which is one of the things that annoys me about Salvatore is you have to remember to do pie cut.
One of the things that annoys me about my wife is I have to say
square cut.
Square cut. Right.
It's.
If I say, I'm like, damn it. I get it home. I'm like,
yeah,
totally didn't ask them. And she's like, this doesn't taste the same.
That's why they don't taste the same.
Yeah, I really don't care.
But the triangle pizza, especially like
Well, Pontillo's was always square. Pontillo's was always square, and that's why I loved square pieces.
Cam's, they have the thin crust, so you get the triangle piece and you fold it. So
the proper New York way.
Yeah, and that's good.
But it's gotta be crusty. It's gotta be crusty, like thin crust. And when you snap it in half, it like snaps.
Yeah.
Oh,
that's so good.
TC Hooligans, and I gotta shout out. I have to shout out. What's the place? It burned down downtown, but they're opening it. They have a place out in Gates.
Oh, I don't know.
Dang it. Anyways, I feel bad about not realizing the name of it.
Yeah.
I'll remember it when I'm not thinking.
Okay.
Yeah. Sauce and Paris for Lavelle. Yes, I missed him tonight as well. That's if we got into the food argument. He's gonna be watching this and he's gonna be like, damn it, I was there. I should have been there for the food because he's all about food.
Yeah, he really would have been the tiebreaker, I feel like, on our fast food debate.
He would have been. So Linda was a tiebreaker for the square cut.
Yeah.
Stryker was no use for his DeBella subs.
Yeah, I mean, DeBella's is fine. The DeBella's has good cookies. The DeBella's chocolate chip cookie, super good.
Who's better, their chocolate chip cookie or Wegmans ultimate chocolate chip cookie?
I think DeBella's.
You think so?
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh,
the ultimate's not bad though. Like it's a good cookie.
I don't know, dude. You might have messed that one up.
No, DeBella, like when you get a really good DeBella's cookie, and sometimes they're not as good as others, but when it like is like perfectly like a little doughy, like a little like almost like a little underdone.
Yes, has to be a little underdone.
A little,
but a little bit of crispy.
Yeah. When that's perfect, DeBella's top.
All right, fine. DeBella's has good cookies.
Yeah,
that's about it though.
Yeah.
Oh, their chips are good.
Sure. Yeah.
Kettle cooked.
Oh, you know what that reminds me? Good sub. Guida's.
Never had it.
Okay.
Is it the same Guida's that's on like Stone Road? Are they Stone Road? Guida's?
I don't know if there's one on Stone
That might be Guido's.
Yeah, there's one on
or is that Gates?
Guida's, there's one on Empire. There's one.
That's way off.
There used to be one in next to Hagedorn's.
There's Empire, Elm Grove, and Webster.
Yeah, I think the Webster one closed. It was next to Hagedorn's.
It says still open. Okay.
Oh.
Yeah, I've never had it.
Yeah, they make one that's called the Schwarzkopf. Super good. Yeah.
I'm intrigued by the name.
Oh, so it's chicken fingers, country sweet sauce, a ham.
No.
Oh, so good.
No.
Onions and lettuce.
That sounds terrible.
Oh my god, so good. So good. Schwarzkopf sub.
That sounds mediocre at best.
No. The ham and the chicken and the onion.
What I have gotten into is garbage plates that are made with chicken fingers instead of burgers. I thought it was sacrilegious, and then I had it, and it was actually really good.
Solid. Put some barbecue sauce on that.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Hot sauce only. There's no barbecue sauce.
Oh, mix that barbecue sauce with the meat. I
don't like barbecue sauce.
Oh, what?
I don't like
my god.
I don't like it at all.
I like.
Now I'm freaking. I'm starving.
I'm so fucking.
I'm so hungry, and now I have to go figure out what I'm gonna eat for dinner because it is 7:45, and I need to go eat. I need to feed this machine.
Yeah, I haven't eaten yet today. I'm ready to go.
All right. Well, now I have to end the podcast so that we can go eat. We're gonna fix the date on our title there.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for listening in, watching. Again, go to locals.com and then look up the Politically Correcting podcast because I'm gonna start posting on there with the content that we go over tonight. So that way you can just read it for yourself. Don't just believe me. Don't just listen to me give you information. I don't want to be like the regular news sources that just tell you what to believe. Look for yourself. Also see what we talked about on the radio show today. We're going to be live every Monday and Wednesday from 1 to 2. Again, on AM station 1040, FM station 92.1. Listen in, call in. Also, we're going to be able to have call in. We had 3 callers in today to our first episode. It was a great time. We had a great time. It was a great episode. I think we went over some pretty amazing things. We went over one thing was a trans prisoner. Oh man, you gotta listen to that story. That was bodacious story. It was not in a good way. It was freaking terrible. This person deserves freaking hell, to be honest. And I hate to say that as a believer.
Bodacious.
Yeah, bodacious in a bad way. Also, we went over Biden's new requirements for ceiling fans.
Excuse me?
Ceiling fans.
Ceiling fans?
Yep. Same thing they did with the gas stoves and the gas HVAC systems. They're doing for ceiling fans. So we went over that. Go ahead and check out. You can go to WYSL1040.com. Also, I'm gonna post it again, like I said, on the locals.com website page, which is politically correcting podcast /locals.com. And catch you on the flip side. Austin, hit that funky music.
Man, I really should have been
queuing
that up.